going to be talking about signs that you might be going through a spiritual awakening. The first sign would be you would have physical imbalances, meaning out of nowhere you would start feeling cold, chilly, cold, and everything, like even when you go outside, even how hot it is, you will start feeling cold, and the people around you will think, they'll be like, no, it's not cold, it's very, very hot, and you're wearing a sweater while you're there wearing a tank top. You'll have those type of situations, and then the next day you will wake up feeling really, really hot compared to how you were feeling yesterday. You will feel a lot hotter than everybody else is feeling. Your temperature, your body temperature will be going up and down, being imbalanced. So that's one sign that you might be going to a spiritual awakening. And the thing is, if you go to a doctor's appointment, they will show that you will have no fever, you don't have a cold, you have no type of sickness or illnesses. And that's when you will know that it's not a physical type of sickness, it's a spiritual sickness you are experiencing, because you have to first go to have a spiritual sickness to go to the awakening process. Another sign you would feel certain pains and aches around your body, whether you could feel ache from your back out of nowhere and then will leave you. There's aches around, especially around your temple right here. You will feel an ache. You will feel a type of buzzing right here. And then that type of buzzing doesn't have to do with any type of sickness that you have. It technically means that your pineal gland is slowly detoxifying, meaning you're gonna be able to see clearer, technically be able to use your spiritual gifts better. Or on the top of your head, you feel this type of pressure pushing down on your head. This means that you are becoming open to the spiritual realm. You start being open to receiving messages from either spirit guides, your ancestors, just spirits in general. You'll be able to start receiving messages from them. When you start feeling the pressure on top of your head, like pressure, most times when you feel this pressure, like the pressure doesn't really hurt. It's not a type of pressure that makes you hurt. It just feels weird and kind of uncomfortable, but it doesn't bring any type of pain. It's just a pressure pushing down on your head. You can easily make that feeling go away just by moving around or shaking your head and stuff like that. You could start feeling this type of zapping running throughout inside your body, like a zapping that starts from your waist, zapping up to your shoulder or all the way up here. Most people would call it Kundalini energy that's rising up and down up your spine. It's a type of energy that moves almost like a snake around your body, certain areas of your body. The energy is zapping up and down in your spine, back and forth. Other signs would be you would start having vivid dreams. Before my dreams were very blurry. I could still have them, but it was very blurry. Now my dreams feel as if I'm walking day to day in the reality. It's as if I'm in reality and stuff like that. That's another way. A different way you gonna start realizing your awakening is you start being aware that you are awake in your dream. This is a dream. You start being aware that this is a dream. This is not real. This is what you what we consider to be called lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming meaning you know that you are dreaming. You're gonna start feeling that type of feeling. Sometimes you'll feel the need to want to get out of the dream, or sometimes you would just let it play out and see what happens. It all depends, but you know it's a dream. You know it's not real. Another sign that you are having a spiritual awakening is you gonna start feeling depressed about life in general. Like everything you feel as if you don't feel excited about anything. You just don't feel excited about anything. The things that used to make you happy and make you excited don't do that anymore for you. It just takes a lot more for you to be happy. You just start seeing through people, the people around you. Even now, that's another sign you're gonna start losing friends. When you start changing like that, the people around you will see the change, and those people either will be okay with it or not be okay with it. Because one thing people don't like change. People don't like change at all. So when somebody that they consider a friend, I don't know where have started changing their personality, having changing the way they view things, the way they view the world, having changed how you just your personality in general. They will not feel the type of same connections to you as they did before. And then this is not your fault or their fault. Both of you guys have just like not have lost the connection because you don't longer feel as if you are in the same wavelength as them. You don't feel as if they like understand you. Like when you talk, like especially like sometimes that's not a sign. When you talk, you have a whole conversation with somebody and the other person would completely don't understand what you're saying at all. That's how you know you are different wavelength as from them, because when you're talking, they don't seem to even understand what you're saying because your wavelength is so apart that they can't even understand the words that you're telling them. That's another sign that you're spiritually awakening. And you, for instance, that are breaking apart, it's neither individual's fault. It's just that you guys no longer connect. And when you no longer connect with somebody, it's better to break it off rather than wasting each other's time. That's what I think. It's better to just do that instead. And I know most people, especially extroverts out there, that technically works better, that gets the energy from socializing, will feel this the hardest than anybody else, because they will start losing friends, and this will make them more depressed than they already was. Me as an introvert, thinking about like the people that I lost over this is yeah, that's another sign when you start losing friends. And another sign is the way you start viewing the world. You start viewing the world very different than how you used to see the world. You start seeing the problems in the world. You start seeing the issues that happen. You start seeing the bad stuff about the system, the economic system. You start seeing the poverty rate. You just completely start seeing all the negatives about this world. And that's another reason why you're gonna become more depressed, because you start seeing all this stuff. You start recognizing all these problems that's around you. And then another sign is you start caring more. Start caring more about animals, the animals that's around you. You start caring more about them. You will start having a better connection with animals than human beings. That's another sign. When you start losing friends, you're gonna start realizing, especially if you have a pet, you're gonna become more connected to that pet, because pets are something that's like very, they have spiritual souls. When people be like, oh, this is my spiritual animal, spirit animal, sometimes the spirit animals tends to be in a form of your pet. So yeah, you start being more connected to animals than you are to humans. And that could also lead you to caring about the type of food that you eat. That's another sign. You start caring about the type of food that you eat, the type of food that you're intaking. Whether it's from, like, if it was from a suffering from the type of animal, you're gonna now want to eat it because you feel mostly connected to animals. You might go to a stage where you might become vegan or vegetarian. Sometimes certain stages don't last. Some stages will last your entire life. Like, for example, some people might go to a stage where they are very sensitive to animal meat, so they will only be able to eat vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. And then a month or 2 months later, or even 5 months later, they might be able to eat meat again, and that's all they want to eat. Compared to before, I don't know if that's all they want to eat. They want to eat meat. And that's another thing. You do not feel like another thing. Don't feel as if that's a bad thing, because when you go to a spiritual awakening, there's no such thing as good or bad. It's all what connects to the way you experiencing your stuff. Like, you might go to a stage you are vegan, but the next you just want to eat meat. Don't feel bad. Don't feel as if out of nowhere you thought you knew who you were, but now you don't, because now that's all. Now you just want to eat meat. That's another sign. When you start realizing there's no such thing as good or bad, thing just is. Another sign, you only want to start hanging out with yourself. You only want to be by yourself. You don't want other people to come interrupt you, come see you. Just want to be by yourself. You just want to hang out by yourself. If you start feeling like that, just go with how your body is feeling. You just go how your body is feeling. Another sign is you might start not wanting to go to work anymore. You might want to start quitting. Even you might just quit and then you might quit and then look for another job. It's just part of the process. It's just you are spiritually changing, and then when you're spiritually changing, you start applying that to your real life situation. You're gonna start applying the way you're feeling and your emotional state to your physical reality. Whether it's the type of job that you have, or the type of people that you hang out with, or the type of activities or hobbies that you have, those might change or will change completely. It would be as if you became a whole entire different person. Another sign is you want to be in nature more. You start wanting to be in nature more. You start wanting to walking in nature. You might start hanging out around the trees more. In general, you would just not want to be paying attention to the physical world, but you will become more spacey. That's another sign. Becoming more spacey in the head. You are always like not here. When I say not here, meaning like you're consciously not here, because you're always out there. So when that happens, you're not really paying attention to your surroundings or what people are saying. Sometimes people might be talking to you and you don't completely hear them or understand them because you are constantly not here. Even the people around you will tell you, are you listening? And then sometimes you are listening. But sometimes there's this phase that you might go through that you're in the between. You're like out of your head, but at the same time you're still in your head. Those type of situations, those type of phases, when you usually would be getting messages from the universe. You might be getting messages from the universe, so you might be in the between, going back and forth. And in those type of moments, even though you are paying attention to the person that might be talking to you, but the person can easily tell that you're not completely there. Like, you there, but you're not completely there. You're not really listening. So they will ask you questions like, oh, are you listening to me? And you'll be like, yeah, of course I'm listening to you. But at the same time, you are completely two different places at the same time. That's another sign. The people around you will start telling you acting different, or like you're more spacey. Are you listening? Those type of stuff they're gonna start asking you. That's how you would know that you are becoming spiritually awakened. The people around you will start saying stuff. Another sign is you start seeing repeating numbers. 111, 1111 for once. 222, 333, 444, 555. And those type of repeating numbers, you could either one, search up what they mean. So you could search up what they mean, what they represent, or two, you could just like make up your own explanation of what each number would mean every time you see them. You start having deja vu. Deja vu is something very common. You start having deja vu, or you've seen this before. In the last recent days, I've had a deja vu about this one certain situation about 4 times. 4 times. I feel like, oh my god, this is a deja vu. I've seen this before. It had happened 4 times. You was just experience deja vu. Those things that you feel as if you've seen them before, it have happened before. It's one is either because you have seen it in a dream, so you already saw a prediction from a dream that you had, or you could have just have a feeling you've seen it. It's a feeling that you have as if you experienced this before. Yeah, those are mostly the signs that you might be going through a spiritual awakening. There's a lot more out there. I forgot one big one. Your ego death. You're gonna have a huge ego death. That's how you'll be able to change your personality, change your whole view of things, is when you have an ego death of your last personality. To be able to change and transfer to another technically become another person, you first have to have an ego death of the last person that you used to have, that you used to be. You're gonna have an ego death of the person that you used to be, and those moments are usually the most painful, because that's when you become the most depressed. When you have an ego death, you feel as if, oh my god, you have no purpose in life. No purpose. You have no purpose whatsoever. You feel just very lost. You feel very lost. You don't have no answers to anything. You're gonna start asking questions. Why am I here? What am I doing here? Why was I born? You're gonna start asking those type of questions because you asking those type of questions because you are experiencing ego death. You no longer know who you are or what your future holds. You don't no longer have a future goals anymore. You just feel lost. You don't have no goals. You don't have no motivation at all to continue, and those are the most darkest times right there. But it gets better once you start becoming the person that you are. You becoming that you are today. Like for me, the person that I am right now, I'm pretty chill compared to the person that I used to be. But yeah, that's one of the big things you might experience, a huge ego death. That's about all signs that I can think of as of right now. Please share your experiences if you have had any type of signs, those signs that I had explained. Please leave in the comments below. I would love to hear your story, your experience that you have had. And yeah, that'd be all for today. Thank you guys for watching and stay safe. Bye.